Something doesn't feel right in my relationship with my boyfriend, and I'm afraid that he's just keeping me around until he can get back with his ex. It's been 4 years. I'm 29, and he is 31. He's very caring and tells me that he loves me. I don't actually know if I'm right, it's just my gut instinct, but I feel like a placeholder. I think he's still got feelings for his long-term ex. She is in the same circle of friends from university, and I think he lights up around her. They had a fallout over something and broke up 6 months before we met, but I know that he bought a ring for her and was set to marry her before the issues. They are not in constant touch, but she reached out to him a couple of years ago, and foolishly, I said it was okay for him to meet her for closure. They don't meet up regularly or anything like that, but still. I think he's different when he's around her, and another mutual friend said the same thing when I confided in her. This ex seems to be overly happy in his presence as well, which is upsetting for me. Or it's possible that I'm unhappy that he hasn't proposed despite saying he wants a future with me, and I'm reading too much into the situation. Don't know what to do. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Does he ever light up for you the way he lights up for his ex? Ops response. I honestly don't know, because sometimes I think yes, but other times, no. I think he says the things he feels he should be saying about building a life together, but he doesn't always feel it. I don't want to turn into a girlfriend who snoops around looking at phones, but it's tempting. I also feel uncomfortable with the fact that she's still close to his family. Commenter 2. Oh, you'd know. He doesn't light up when he sees you, nor does he seem sincere when discussing a life together. It's been 4 years. If he were genuinely excited to be with you, he wouldn't be seeing his ex or lighting up around her. He'd be taking the next steps toward a future with you. He may have some ambivalence, but that's not helpful to you. You could be with someone who has no doubts that you're the one. Commenter 3. What did he say when you spoke to him about how you feel, especially about feeling like you might be a placeholder? Ops response. I've never told him that I feel like a placeholder, but I have said that after 4 years, he should know if he sees a future with me. He then says he does and that he'd like to settle down with me, but he has done nothing to suggest that he wants to get engaged or married soon. Commenter 3. To be honest, you're hurting both yourself and him, especially yourself, by not either A, being more candid with him or B, leaving because you can't be more candid with him. Even putting the marriage issue aside, how can the relationship work if you can't be straightforward with him about how you feel about the relationship? Ops response. He knows I want to be married, though. I just haven't discussed timelines with him, but after 4 years and at 31, surely he should be thinking about these things too, particularly as he himself said that he would like to settle down with me. Commenter 4. He's not over her. He was ready to marry her but wants to take it slowly with you? It seems like he's ready for marriage but doesn't want to marry you. I'm really sorry. The writing is on the wall. I hate seeing women getting treated like placeholders. I've noticed many men treat life like winter and women like coats. It's cold, are you really going to go without a coat? Just grab a coat for now, any coat. You can always get a better coat later. They don't go without a coat while waiting for the coat they really want. They absolutely will wear you while saving up for a better coat, though. This is unfortunately why many of them don't leave if you're not the right one. It usually falls on women to do the leaving. You have the info you need. It's up to you to make the right choice for yourself. Let that man go. Ops response. Last night, I tried to talk about marriage again, to discuss a timeline, and he said he hasn't thought about it. He needs time to think. I told him I am unwilling to wait more than 6 months, and he didn't say anything other than asking for a few days to think about it. Commenter 5. Well, there's your answer. If I were you, I wouldn't worry about whether this is about his ex or any other girl. The ultimate answer lies with you too, and right now, you're not feeling secure, and he's not able to step up. Men can be clueless. I had to explain to my husband at our 3-year mark how much time it takes to get engaged, pay for and plan a wedding, and then have kids. In his mind, it could all happen a lot faster, and he thought he had more time to propose. But he was serious about marriage and reassured me, and he proposed within a few months. I was also ready to walk, and he knew I was serious. If your boyfriend's answer after 4 years is I'll think about it, not I love you and I'm working on it, go. You deserve a man who makes you feel safe and loved. Ops response. He told me yesterday evening over dinner that he loves me, but he doesn't know if or when he'll be ready to propose or get engaged. He said that he used to think it was something he could do long term, but when I gave him a timeline, he realized that he couldn't do it anytime soon. When I asked him if he thinks he'd ever be ready, he said possibly, but he honestly doesn't know. Because I was hurt and deeply upset, I asked him if it was because of his past and his previous relationship, But before I could even complete the sentence, his expression changed, and he told me that's not relevant and not to try and make this about his previous relationship. Update 3 days later. Only a few days after I finally told my boyfriend that I wouldn't wait more than 6 months, he's broken up with me. At first, he told me that he needed to think, then said that he couldn't see it happening anytime soon, and today he said that he can't marry me and that he wanted to end the relationship for this reason. I still feel that it's because, after all this time, he's still hung up on his ex. He won't talk about it and said it was not the reason, but of course, he would say that. I'm still quite sure that she is the reason. He tried to tell me that he still cares about me, etc., but I told him to cut the crap because he wasted 4 years of my life. He told me I can stay in his house for as long as I need until I find a place, but I'll be viewing apartments and leaving ASAP. I feel like such a fool for not putting my foot down sooner and have been in bed all day. How can you do this to someone you claim to love? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I'm sorry to say, but he doesn't love you. He likely still loves his ex. If he loved you, marriage wouldn't be such a big obstacle for him. You are so much better off now. Op's response. I know that's what it is. When I asked him straight if he still loves her, he told me not to bring her into this, and then when I asked again, he said it doesn't matter if he does because he can't be with me. He didn't even try to deny it. Commenter 2. Please don't try to chase the why. Maybe he's still hung up on his ex, maybe he's just not ready for you, maybe he'll be married a year from now to someone else. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. It's better to accept that as soon as you can and put your energy into moving on to someone who won't drag you around for 4 years. Op's response. It just hurts because I waited longer than I otherwise would have, since he was in a lot of pain following the breakup with his ex, and he didn't bring up marriage for a long time because he had nearly gotten engaged to her, and it was a sensitive point. Commenter 3. I predict he'll be back with the ex in a month or less. Unless she's smart enough to tell him to pound sand. Why did they break up? Op's response. I mentioned it in a previous comment, but it was about a family matter relating to a family member of his, where his ex was going against his wishes and interfering. She since apologized to him about it and said she wished she had stayed out of it. I was dumb enough to tell him that it was okay for him to meet her for closure, and she said this. She hasn't had any other relationships since they broke up. I've been in denial, but ever since this happened, his attitude towards her has softened considerably, and they always seem happy around each other, same circle of friends from university, so they sometimes run into each other. Plus, she is still really close to his family. Not sure why I wasn't seeing what should have been obvious. It was obvious to a mutual friend as well. Commenter 4. Guys buy rings when they want someone and don't want to risk losing them. He feels very safe not having to pony up, especially when women see him as the catch. Your 4 years, sadly, show that he has the upper hand. I'm sorry that this played out this way for you, and dealing with the aftermath and the blows it's hit you with is a hard one. Look for how you have benefited, and find ways to be grateful beyond your current dissatisfaction. Op's response. I will. It's hard at the moment. Mutual friends said they tried to warn me that he was still emotionally connected to his ex and that they saw this coming. I should have snapped out of my wishful thinking when he said early in the relationship, while drunk, that he was set to marry her and that it felt wrong to date someone else. He said later that it was just him being drunk, and I believed him, ignoring the red flags. I don't know how I've lived in denial for so long. I'm feeling like a fool. Commenter 4. That's why you've got to park him and all this somewhere and not pick it back up. The weight of it isn't helping you at all. We all make mistakes and have wasted opportunities, resources, time, and more. Acceptance is the key to all our difficulties. Move on as your own personal best friend, and coach yourself to find better ways to use your mental energy. Yes, you are experiencing a loss, but it's part of life no matter how good our choices are. Hugs to you, Op. Op's response. Today we had another chat after work, and even though he's being guarded, he admitted that although he feels like he connects with me on an intellectual level, he feels an emotional bond is missing. He said he needs an emotional attachment, which he couldn't form with me despite trying. I feel absolutely gutted. Second update 2 months later. I had a bunch of people telling me on my previous post that I was being ridiculous for believing that my ex-boyfriend still had feelings for his ex. As I mentioned in my previous posts, he had a ring for her and really wanted to marry her before they fell out over something. They then talked things through, evidently for closure, while he and I were together. I knew about it and stupidly thought it would help him get over her. Instead, he started withdrawing from our relationship. Other comments said that there must have been other issues that were the primary reason he didn't marry me. And some people even said that I deserved to get dumped after I gave him an ultimatum, even though I had been waiting for years. Well, it turned out I was right after all, and I wish I hadn't been. I moved out within a couple of weeks of our breakup, even though he said I could stay for as long as I needed to in his house before I found a good place. I heard from a mutual friend not long after that she had seen them together. She later warned me that they had, in fact, reconciled and were together again. She is the same mutual friend who had warned me previously that he had not moved on from his previous relationship, and his actions eventually confirmed that she was right. I'm sure that one of the reasons he insisted on picking up and dropping off my remaining belongings at my new place was because he didn't want me to turn up and find her there. I guess I did the right thing by giving him an ultimatum, otherwise, I would still be waiting and waiting, until he dumped me, probably. What I don't understand is that despite knowing this, I still can't move on. As absurd as it sounds, I still love him very much, despite everything. It's a crazy feeling, and I can't seem to stop feeling this way. He was my ideal man, but I couldn't be his ideal woman. Third update 2 months later. Just under 4 months after being dumped, 2 days ago, I finally woke up after trying to believe the best about my ex-boyfriend. He left me for his ex-girlfriend and had immediately gone back to her. I couldn't stop myself from returning to social media a couple of days ago and instantly regretted it. He married her in a registry office wedding not long ago. I had requested mutual friends not to talk about him to me, and therefore nobody told me. That means he must have made the decision to marry her at least a month before that, because a registry office requires that much notice. So essentially, I was just a girlfriend for convenience, because it's easier being with someone for companionship and sex. The length of time together didn't matter to him. I've been making excuses for him, but what he's done is sickening, and I've snapped out of still feeling love for him. I can't imagine marrying someone else 4 months after ending one relationship. I feel disgusted. Anyway, thank you to everyone who helped me and was supportive. I've been through some of the most painful days of my life.